Yeah, I think actually, yeah, that's Kerstin. So I do think she is I mean, I'm not sure if she's creating that with others or how it's the working process there, but maybe we can just like wait some 3-4 minutes and then see whether other people join us. And if not, we can just go ahead through the contents that are there and especially capturing what you think should be there, because then in the end we can see how to harmonize. So let us just maybe wait some 3 minutes.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, there was confusion with the link. Here we are. Great to see you all here. We will have different stakeholders joining in. Just like to give a feedback. We have really had very, let's say, very committing sessions. I don't know if you could follow online with the link. So we're down to now a communique that we would like to share quite soon. And if you see me typing in the resolution on the communique part, is based on actually commitments and paragraphs that we received from the different ministers in the sessions, but also from the deep dive discussions. So yeah, we have like half an hour to develop this together. And the idea would be that we have an overarching commitment that the Global Action Plan initiative is a, let's say, very timely and a strategic starting point in the decade of action, and should put the foundation for addressing informal settlements and slums until 2050. So it's really not to say that it's over then in 2030, but that it should be a, a fundamental step in scaling and going towards transformation. Then the endorsement of the initiative as all and the content of the Global Action Plan. And then there are the key actions that are now, as part of the communique, as a first step, seen very key. So one was the multi-governance aspect, the data collection I already put. Then there's also the community empowerment as another point. Then comprehensive approaches where we have then water, sanitation, and basic and social infrastructure, housing, and highlighted. Then also land as a separate point. 1 minute, please. Okay, back. Then another one was the policies that are very key to put in place, including with targets, and also introducing accountability of institutions to deliver against certain benchmarks. So that would be as part of the policies, then the comprehensive packages, the land, and so that's just the feedback from the panels. And then another overarching point. The community empowerment needs to also speak to the local economic development. So that's just debriefing now on the economic development and prosperity. I think we can, I mean, there's already formulation on this in the Global Action Plan. And then the other one that was as a separate point is finance, where it's really very impressive where governments commit to allocating national local finance and then also increase finance in the coming years. And then with that also leverage multiple partnerships and investments. Yeah. This is the feedback, as that would be what came out of the discussions as the, let's say, key endorsement for now. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong notes. It's been very busy, but it's great to see that there's so much buy-in. The land would also be interesting to look at. I mean, while we have the access to land, the social function of land, and yeah, also the formulation that we have already in the action plan. Another important one was also displacement, to have no displacement and have yeah, the in situ highlighted, and yeah, and a formulation around secure tenure. So that one we would need to put as well on the land point. That should fall under the generic points. Finance would be then coming as the last one, and second last. The last one would be on the partnerships moving forward, like the implementation framework. Just endorsing that we want an implementation framework where multiple partnerships are informing the way forward. We would need to formulate this now. So I need to send it very shortly. As we said, until 3, we have that time. I don't know if you want to, you have access to the link, if you would like to maybe type at the same time, and otherwise give feedback on points that you have either concerns with or you think they are missing. Then we have the opportunity to quickly add them now. Yeah, so with that, I open the floor and thank you for being here. Are there any comments, Rebecca or Anna Claudia, on the?
Yeah, I'm still looking at it.
Yeah, let's just focus on this page, because the rest, I mean, it's either the possibility of endorsing the Global Action Plan document directly, I mean, which has all the content, and then we can think afterwards whether we endorse a resolution with the text, or I think that's a bit based on feedback we get from the regional consultations, whether we use the full action plan document for endorsement, or we use a resolution text that can be negotiated to not risk that because of a certain wording we do not have certain elements then in the resolution or in the commitment. Yeah. Anna Claudia, anything?
I think Anna, you're muted, Anna.
Sorry. Hi, Kerstin. Hi, everybody. Hi, Rebecca. Sorry, I was talking here. No, in relation to land, I think maybe the management and planning is missing here, right? So the social function you said already will be in the overall. I think the social function is key. Yeah, because we need also to increase the supply of land through empty and vacant buildings, right? Because we need to build new houses. So that's the point.
Can I suggest
we have to enable land to the existing slums, but also have supply for new housing. Yeah.
Very good. Do you want to take that paragraph on? And then Rebecca, maybe you two could work on that one briefly. Do we have then we have the experts at hand. Then we have the one on community empowerment. Aparna, you want to look at it and formulate it to also bring in what you were saying in the morning? We can take that point also down, I think, on the community empowerment. And then, yeah.
Kerstin, there's just one area I'm wondering, the issue around resilience, especially climate resilience or resilience to other disasters, particularly in informal settlements. I know probably maybe that may be covered under the infrastructure piece, but I'm wondering if there's a particular area where we can deal with that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think why don't we put it? Yeah, we could put it as a point to the comprehensive packages where we can say sort of as impact statement
Yeah.
that it builds also the resilience, no? Or
Yeah.
we do an extra one, and no, I think they want it very precise for now, the communique, because it's the first step, something they can really go back to. So the entry point would be, yeah, what do you suggest? Or we do community resilience and empowerment, and we put it in there.
Yeah, I think we can. Yeah, we can
Yeah,
have
it's not
it there
enough.
because
Or,
yeah, community resilience and empowerment. So that's where then we put the climate resilience piece.
yeah. I think the way we're now developing the finance with a different, let's put it as flexible, let's summarize it. Because I think to get this through approved as a first step now is difficult. For now, it's really about endorsing the main items. So I would say if we can say, flexible financing mechanisms that can, have both the multi-governance dimension, but also the diversity of solutions in mind, and also really the response to the most vulnerable and the lowest income groups. I think that would be good, because then we can speak about the different, land value. We might have then discussions about, it's really first the ideas and general ideas. We can put such as, but I wouldn't put them as separate actions at this point. They're very broad points now for the communique, in addition to the action plan. And we talked to those in the detailing of the actions, right, in future with the global action plan. So I think that's with the implementation framework where we can cover it and then also endorse it with a resolution. But I would think in view of that's the first step, and also that we would like endorsement. I think it's good to keep it generic. Here is then also Marie Hochzemeier with me now. She's been one of the speakers in the deep dive for the resolution as well. So yeah, I already put your paragraph for the first introduction. So we're here with the global task force, and yeah, the groups engaged. So but also on the screen, but it's a bit clear. Yeah, any further comments? You want to comment or share maybe some impressions as well? We're looking at let's look paragraph by paragraph, maybe, if you don't mind, Christina. Cleaning up from before. So we endorse the Global Action Plan initiative for transforming informal settlements and slums as a timely and strategic multiple partnership initiative, and commit to act as leaders initiating global, regional, national, local transformation. That's the first one. Then the second, we commit, and that was the point where the internet seems to be a bit weak. That was a point that came out of your session also with the short and long-term perspective. We commit to look at 8 years of the decade of action to build the foundation for transformation in future and introduce an initial benchmark that is catalytic to meet the needs of 1 billion slum dwellers today and 3 billion in 2050 if no action is taken. Yeah, we are. And then 3, we are committing to the following key actions towards scaling slum transformation. 1, multi-governance frameworks, creating multi-governance integrated frameworks with inclusive participation of all groups in planning and decision-making to enable culturally adequate and inclusive design of interventions. Yeah, maybe we look here at my screen, and you can also type here. Let me increase to 125 maybe. Yeah. Oh, that's better. Yeah, so here, then data. Also for the, please edit then while we're reading. We're here with the microphone. So then you could just add if you have any challenges with what I'm reading. Collecting data to inform, informing, to inform, that goes behind the, to understand circulation growth of informal settlement slums, and to inform yeah, that was the housing stock. I'm still needing to take
It's
that.
collecting
from-
data that goes beyond, isn't it?
Yes,
Collecting data that goes
but I
beyond.
had your formulation somewhere here. Data here, so the housing stock. Maybe we don't say what we don't want, but
Yes, that we don't say, but
yeah.
Mm.
Since every average. Okay, anybody else? Any comments until now? Still.
Yes,
Nothing is-
Aparna, please speak.
Yeah,
Hi,
please just.
hi. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to edit it online, but I'm not able to. So can you please help me with that?
Can you try again? I just put in the chat the link again where I enabled everyone to be a direct editor. So just try again, please.
Okay, thanks.
And let me know if it doesn't work. Then you can just type in the chat what you want to say and I'll bring it in for you.
Maybe also interconnect. Maybe also
Um,
the intersection of different settlements. Or yeah,
maybe that understand how households circulate.
yeah.
Circulate. Oh, we had and circulating through the housing. Circulate through low income, or the lowest income housing, lowest income. I mean, a lot of them are not even legal.
Housing solution.
Spaces, just spaces. While informal settlements grow. Informal settlements. And slum and
Maybe this data is needed to
understand how and it's really to understand whether the interventions are targeting effectively.
Yeah.
Or, so
we can understand how households to the lowest incomes measure. Yeah.
Or just to understand whether interventions are targeted effectively. By revealing how households circulate through the lowest income spaces. And
maybe that's data.
Yeah.
And then one can say promoting, and that's the solution part that comes later. Yeah.
Anna Claudia, I see you have your hand raised.
Yes, go ahead, Anna Claudia. Yeah.
On data, I'm missing the census data.
Okay, great. Can you just put it in and also empower yourself to be directly editing? This way we
just
save
speak
some
up.
time.
We are here really working together. Just speak up what you think and edit. And then what are you going to integrate with inclusive? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I think we can delete this part now. The equitable solutions is more for the solutions part. Maybe that we need to. Okay. Then policies, design, enabling legal, regulatory, institutional frameworks, transformation, maybe targets with the long term, with the long term perspective. Oops. Oh, now I moved up. Why is that? But then perspective.
Oh, something. Oh, that's very difficult.
And benchmarks for the midterm, yeah, midterm benchmarks that create the accountability.
Mhm.
Isn't an institutional framework the same as actually committing to building the institutions?
It's true.
So other than, so we've got multi-governance, creating multi-governance to create frameworks. Is this where we can bring democratization in?
The multi-governance?
Yes.
Yeah, or on the community level. But yeah, but it could be good here with the democratic representation.
Representation of all groups and planning and decision making. Yes. Multi-governance is not as a concept. Multi-governance integrate means linking up different levels of governance, government, or what does multi-governance mean?
Yeah, it's both exactly. Yeah, the vertical.
I think,
and
sorry to interrupt, I think the new urban
Yes.
agenda talks about multi-level participatory governance, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah,
something like
Yeah.
that.
Use that wording rather than
yeah, that's a good idea.
Multi-level. Yeah.
Yeah, multi-level governance. Yeah.
and participatory.
Yeah, multi-level participatory governance. Yeah.
Mhm. Can we put democratic in this line
Yeah.
here? Multi-sectoral, horizontal and vertical democratic, well, coordination.
Yeah.
No, I don't know
I
where
think-
democratic comes in.
Or it would be,
Yeah.
it would be in the participation part, maybe.
Inclusive, democratic participation.
Yeah,
maybe
I
that.
think so.
With can one say with
It's already there.
institutionalized
Somebody did that already.
institutionalized democratic inclusive?
Yeah.
Where do we bring in that institutionalization of the?
Yes, very good.
It's
True. Where do we bring it? Question to the.
What was the sentence again? Say again.
I would
The
change
institutionalization of what?
creating for institutionalizing.
Yeah,
Instead of
that's a good
creating.
idea. Oh, very
Yeah.
good. Yeah, starting it that way. Yeah.
Are you? Is Anna Claudia typing it in?
Yeah, that's me. Hello.
There. Okay.
Okay, we do have,
So
I
then we
want to understand if we have doubling with content below H, implementation
Exactly,
framework.
yeah.
So I will just put that up here right below you, and then you just see what you can take from there. So here,
Okay.
just see whatever, because those are the information that we had from the first round, which got then formulated, and just see whatever is useful from there for your text now.
Yeah, I would keep those for the implementation framework, maybe the partnership here. I would, for now, just leave bold statements because we don't have much time, and if we go so much into detail, then it is, should it be now this or that? I think in multiple, yeah. Yeah, very important. It's just that we have this coordination mechanism. We don't need to give names or an assessment, I think, at this stage. Huh? I think it's just like that we continue with that multiple partnership.
Okay. So can you,
So this is too detailed, I think.
Yeah, just take out whatever's too detailed. I mean, just it's up there, so you can delete anything that's there. It's saved somewhere. So if we want to edit it at a later stage, you can do
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Let's take it out.
Just
The action should really be around the governance. I think this partnership comes extra down, data policy. So this is really what governments need to do: comprehensive packages, the land, and
yeah. So
and
maybe you two
community
can do the
empowerment
first two.
and finance and partnership should be extra points. Because it goes beyond the governments themselves.
Except
Okay.
some finance commitments like
Yeah.
this intergovernmental transfers. That
Yes. Yeah. We need to, we can say that they are to leverage, right? Then, yeah. Because on the finance, it's also very important that governments commit to allocating national, local finance.
Yeah, we need to get beyond
Yes.
the dependency
Yes.
over time, at least.
Yeah. So let's take all the part on the partnerships, the sub-points. Let's not have any sub-points at this time. It's my suggestion. I don't know if everybody's comfortable with that, but I think we can translate those in future. It's really just to get the approval of the top priority items now. No? So then if we get those through, that finance, multi-governance, multi-level governance and community empowerment, resilience, those are the priority topics we want to talk about, then that's the first step. Then we go and develop the more detailed resolution text in the weeks to come.
Yeah, can I make a suggestion for the progress right now? So if you two just work on the two first paragraphs and you just take out and you can delete whatever and you just come up with 1 or 2 paragraphs on that one. And then data, I see it's growing. Policies is not growing. Comprehensive packages is not growing at all. And finance will need to be merged as well. So I would suggest, if you agree, you just stay on those first 2, and if you want to make it 1 paragraph, you just make it 1 paragraph, whatever you think is relevant.
Yeah, and I think I take note from here.
Yeah, cool. And then I would need someone to take over finance. Is there some volunteer that can make out of finance also 1 paragraph? Because I think it might be too detailed at that stage.
Yeah.
And I would have someone to volunteer for comprehensive packages. So let me see who's here.
For the comprehensive packages, I think as far as I know, we can use the text of the Global Action Plan. No, it had everything, I think, as far as I can tell.
Okay, I can copy it in here.
Social and affordable, habitable, and accessible housing available.
Okay.
Services and infrastructure.
So I will take that over. Okay, no problem.
Yes, we can just take it in, I think.
Then okay, so I will do that. And then we need someone for the finance. Who volunteers to do the finance? So maybe I ask Mike to go over with the finance. Can you do that? And Roberto. And Stephen, Rebecca, I will copy in the text from the Global Action Plan on the comprehensive packages. If you can go over it in 2 minutes, that would be helpful.
Okay.
I would say expanding and diversifying existing partnerships. We always need more. But then in coordinated, the important thing is that they're consolidated and coordinated.
Something about partnerships that I liked. Coordinated partnership efforts.
Yeah, I think I would. Something, that was on the accelerators. There's a section talking about the coordination and advocacy, and I think it was introduced to be leveraged by diverse actors.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Christina. This is Stephen. I just hopped onto the call, so I'm trying to get in the swim lane here. Saw that Christina, that you sent a section to Rebecca and me, and so is the idea here. We'll look on this link and then look to edit the existing section appropriately. Is that?
All right. If you have means to join us in this document, you will find here in the very end of the document, down here in the commitment statements, you go to the very last page. And that's where we are actually all right now working. And so we have here the comprehensive packages, which is the D. And I just put in some suggestions. So that first part comes from the action plan, the second one as well, which is on the climate resilience. Not sure if it's supposed to be in this package or somewhere else, but as I understood that housing and services are of key priority for Habitat for Humanity, maybe you can have a look through this paragraph to see whether this is okay or whether you would want to change it and decide on what to do with this last part here.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, thank you. You have something going on with your microphone, Kerstin.
Sorry,
Something is going on with the microphone from your side.
what is going on? You can't hear us, or you hear us?
We can now we can hear you, but before we cannot. We just heard some disturbing noise.
Oh, okay.
But it
Might
might
be.
have stopped now.
Okay. Yeah, there might be a problem with the, sorry about that. Yeah, we worked on the finance one. We are putting it, yeah, it's resolved. We put it in, we replace it, and inshallah.
That's gone. No.
Oh, it's all messed up in the format, I think.
I can do that. Sorry,
Okay,
Mike, the
thank you.
text just got replaced.
Oh, sorry, I didn't want to replace. I just wanted to paste it in there.
Oh, it came in a lot of bullet points. Let's see.
Okay,
Okay.
then the occasion are different.
This is the detail that we didn't want in it, or
Yeah,
can we
seeing.
close this window?
Yes, I think so, yeah. Increased domestic resources are different scales, more.
So I do think we do have some issues here, because every time when I accept something, someone else comes in and types something. So I'm not sure if I have some kind of superpower which influences the cursors of other people. If so, I stop accepting changes.
I know sometimes it feels like my cursor jumps around to sections that I am not intending to be in. So
Okay, well then this is weird, because really, like, yeah, I see some fragments coming up, and I don't mean to boycott you, look. So maybe I just wait for you guys to finish, and then in the last 2 minutes the document is all mine. So Aparna, how are you going along with community resilience and empowerment?
Just 1 second.
Okay.
Can you see it? Yeah, you can.
Look, that's if you look on my screen, that's what I see.
Just 1 second, let me.
If you want to, you can just copy and paste what you want to put in this paragraph into the chat, and I replace it.
No, you see the right thing.
Okay. Maybe we can shrink it down a little bit so that it stays a little bit in line with the rest of the paragraphs that we have.
So what you see in the yellow, I would like to edit this. I would like to remove it, but I have not removed it because I just want to cross check.
Okay, so You want to strengthen strong with empower communities. Yes, okay.
This one would go. You agree?
Okay.
And this one also would go.
So you will take out the communities at the localization. Local decision-making process. Should strengthening the formulation of the in situ transformation. Okay. And okay, so you say this one basically goes out.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the lines below?
Yeah, so the one that is in yellow, that would go also.
Okay, so you wouldn't want to have communities as key stakeholders.
So I have done it, but I've done it in a different way. I've written here, support and identify champions and key stakeholders and nurture them through various public institutions engagements.
Okay, do you agree that we put in this, I do agree, and do you agree that we put in there with the key stakeholders also from communities, that it becomes clear that they also need to be from...
Fine.
Okay, okay. And then we take out the next phrase, and then, yeah, and then maybe we can add those paragraphs now into one big paragraph so that it looks like the same paragraphs above. Okay, so we just try and then we see what. Use and create based on okay. Okay.
Okay, the collaborative platform may not sound good, but enhance capacities to basically to make them work together, bring them on the same page. That's what I want to say.
Use innovative mechanisms to enhance capacity of to bring them. Okay, say again what you want to say with that phrase.
So I'm just saying that I want to say that to bring them on a kind of a collaborative work arrangement. So how do you write it? Use innovative mechanisms to enhance capacity of the
Okay, maybe establish knowledge exchange platforms to enhance capacities of various stakeholders.
Yeah.
Okay, I put that.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Much better. Yes.
Okay.
Thanks.
Good. Yeah, thank you. All right, great. I will just now take out all the additions and then I think we're good to go.
We have a suggestion here on the community resilience and empowerment to say mainstream community participation in the formulation for transformative public policies. So instead of, you know, like that the policies become transformative. And that leaves then also open if one treats the slum issue separately through a dedicated policy or integrated in urban housing and so on. So I think that's better.
Where do you want to put that in that phrase?
Yes, if we can, because we wanted to edit, but it's tricky. Mainstream community participation in the formulation of transformative policies.
Public policies.
Public policies, yeah, public can stay, but formulation goes. And plural, because it can be housing, it can be.
Yeah, public policy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can be the gender and yeah. Okay.
Socioeconomic empowerment comes in there. Okay, so do we have our political empowerment? Yes. Integrate. Do we want this long text?
Yeah, I don't know. I would suggest not to have it. What do other writers here care particularly about? Then we can take one more thing, I think. But if it becomes longer, then it becomes too much. Is it the capacity? What else do we see here? Innovations, champions. I think all that is part of the effective participation and to leverage community champions and socioeconomic empowerment, integrate actions for social and financial development. Yeah, this aspect maybe we don't fully have yet in the sense of contribution, but political empowerment is I don't know, any thoughts on that? Because the paragraph is too long.
Just suggest what to take out.
I think it's very hard to implement this socioeconomic empowerment that would resource people to better participate. Is that what it's about?
It's about community, about resilience and empowerment. What we could do is maybe the design of interventions that also create job opportunities or are, skills oriented, strengthening skills.
I think if it is a matter of the length, maybe we can edit it further. But if the bullets are fine, no? If the bullets are fine, then I can edit the language further.
I think.
Are we?
What is fine? Sorry. Okay, we need to reduce it in any case.
Can we increase this a bit?
Yes. Cannot really access it now. You want to read before?
Can one increase the size? No, you can't get that away. So it's,
yeah.
Oh, there you can.
I think I cannot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's better. That's much better.
Yeah.
So is anybody else working on section? Is it F?
No, I think by now we're all kind of done.
Oh,
so
okay. We pasting it into Word and then pasting it back again.
Okay, so everybody's done now. Then we would maybe just clean up the text here and put it separately in again so we don't lose the ideas also. and then have it online for your final review while the delegations have a view, look at it. We need to distribute it now to the delegations for the closure at 5. Is that okay? Everybody comfortable, or anything you would like to mention before we break and work online again?
Well, I would just ask whether, because Roberto here had put in a comment, whether you want to take that into finance the develop and implement participatory mechanisms for financing slum transformation. So whether this shall be in there at this level. So
I think with the flexible finance and localized, we speak to that to different mechanisms, right? Because
okay,
yeah.
and then the next
It might be
next
specific
comment,
at this time and different.
He's also suggesting monitoring system on changes in costs related to slum transformation. I'm not sure if that's feasible.
That's maybe nice as part of the data collection. Huh? That one also.
Yeah.
I think that
multi-level governance, Kirsten. I was thinking about that too. I put monitoring in the policies, but this is more not
I saw that one. It's a nice. This
So
will
we
require
put
the
it-
establishment high-level policy coordination for implementation follow-up monitoring. I think is also a very nice place there. Yeah.
Okay, and on the data, do we want to put in some kind of monitoring?
No, just that it's a data that is a good data to collect actually, to have
Okay.
knowledge on what costs what. I think that's data we could put as part of not the census one, but the second one, where we talk about the the citywide or data collection at beyond the settlement level, and then to look at dynamics, and then we can say including
monitoring
affordability and also just transformation costs. We could even call it just very broad. Then it includes everything, the participatory processes, including construction costs, everything, land. Yeah.
Okay.
The census speaks more for the SDGs, right? I don't know if in the global thing, but I think we mentioned that SDG 11.
Yeah.
Okay, I would still like to have in the data section somewhere the disaggregated data for vulnerable groups. Is that possible? For example,
I have also put the
gender,
data.
Gender,
Yeah.
age, minorities, whatever. So, and disaggregate according to groups.
So it could be,
Yes,
Okay.
go ahead.
where is it here? Yeah, we got it here, the data one.
No, that's
only
we had
there.
it, but now it's there. Yeah. Can you increase the size a bit, Christina, so we can't really
Of
see
course.
here because we're in the middle of another paragraph and it's continues jumping. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So maybe
Data.
maybe I can, like, do we want to read one more time or do we need to end it in?
We can do one more time now.
And
Okay.
segregate.
So maybe I
Refreshing.
start reading out and then we just, whoever feels like something is missing, just feel free to put it in there. So multi-level participatory governance, institutionalizing multi-level participatory governance, integrated frameworks with multi-sector, horizontal and vertical coordination among government spheres, inclusive, democratic participation of all groups in planning and decision-making to enable culturally adequate and inclusive design of interventions. So I
Can
think
you
this,
say inclusive of democratic participation, is that the point?
Or if
I'm
you
not-
need the word
Yeah,
with.
it's including democratic participation, right?
aha,
Yeah.
including.
Yes.
Okay. All right, next one, data.
Decision-making.
Improve methodologies at census level in order to reflect more accurately the reality of informal settlements and households, and disaggregate data according to groups, population groups. Collecting data across all settlements, regardless of tenure status or legal
Disaggregate data, we can just stop there. We don't need
Okay.
the according to
Yes,
groups
groups is,
Okay.
because it's
can
yeah.
also
be misunderstood.
Okay, collect data across all settlements, regardless of tenure status or legal regularization, through an integrated approach that goes beyond the isolated settlement level, including transformation costs and affordability, to understand whether interventions are targeted effectively by revealing how households circulate through the lowest income spaces. I'm not sure if that connection here is like logic, but okay. So I think that the connection to the sense is a little bit weird. I'm not sure what that means actually, but yeah.
This means like the let's say the
we can
could
say by
be-
monitoring how households
Yeah.
circulate.
there's,
but-
I mean it is speaking to gentrification or displacement or
Dynamics,
but
family
also
dynamics.
speaking to dynamics, let's say, of settlements becoming or remaining attractive due to their location or whatever it would be.
Can we maybe say as well as settlement dynamics and movements of households
Mhm.
of the low income households after interventions? Can we maybe say that? From the lowest income groups after interventions, and then it becomes kind of clear what it means.
It's not just interventions, huh? It could also be, but yeah.
Okay, and then maybe, okay, as well as impacts of interventions.
Yeah. Estimates are that 25% of the, it's also like the migration is between settlements for different
Yeah.
reasons. So it's interesting to understand why that is. And then but yeah, and to monitor that as well.
Okay.
Maybe just, yeah.
As well as impacts of interventions
Dynamics
and
of move, yeah. Yeah, I would leave migration out here for now, but I don't know how others feel about it. Of course, but yeah. But it's not
Dynamics
the
of
most.
movement
Yeah.
of households.
I mean, if you think
Maybe
that the
we
phrase
leave that households in general, not just the lowest income. No, we just leave movement of households, or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So is that now revealing what you wanted to say? Is that including what you wanted to say? Because to me, it's now much clearer, but it might be me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I think so.
Okay. Policies.
Policies.
Do you want to read out, Kerstin?
Design and review enabling legal, regulatory planning, investments and institutional frameworks at local, metropolitan and national levels, establishing transformation targets with the long-term perspective, and midterm benchmarks, making mandated institutions for implementation. I don't know, there's still a hiccup. Huh? This requires some high level. Mandating maybe institutions.
Yeah.
Or making accountable. But,
It was more
guiding institutions on implementation.
I think mandating is more powerful. I think we need to
Yeah.
have institutions that have the
Okay.
mandate.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This will
But
require the
it's
establish.
creating them in the first place in some cases.
Yeah,
building them.
that's true.
Okay.
Mandating and capacitating.
Creating, managing, capacitating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
that's in both strengthening and new. That's very
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good. No, for implementation.
Can we say long term? Is it no? I don't. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah, and
A
then the
long-term
policy
perspective.
coordination. Yes, so that must integrate maybe even integrating high-level policy coordination mechanisms for
Of high level, this will require
because
the
implementation we
establishment.
have now, but the monitoring part is important and the coordination part is important.
So is that what you just said? Did I miss that?
Of high-level.
This will require the establishment and integration of high-level policy coordination mechanisms for implementation and follow-up monitoring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, comprehensive packages. Provide affordable, habitable, and accessible housing and available basic services in thriving locations characterized by availability of education and social facilities, integrated and targeted healthcare services, and safe and accessible public spaces of high quality, connected through inclusive mobility options, also with economic opportunities and economic opportunities. Ensure equitable and empowered participation of the residents through, and this one might be going to the other one, ensure equitable and empowered participation of the residents through direct involvement in the design of solutions following a people-centered development approach.
That's
And-
covered. That's covered under F.
Okay, is it also including the design of solutions, that people are within this design of solutions?
Planning, we said including them in planning.
Okay, so
So how do we get to this idea of comprehensive package? Because it's highly unlikely that that'll be achieved in a,
maybe we,
I mean, that,
maybe,
I would say aim towards incrementally achieving the whole thing, but to me, there's a tension between incremental upgrading and having a comprehensive package. You know, they contradict one another, don't they?
okay, what about if we target incremental provision of?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
And then, but then we're still back to this here where we have the this one here is a participation issue, where everyone should come in and everyone should have capacity. Is that what I understand correctly, Steve?
Yeah,
Empowered
I think the
participation.
idea here was to if the assignment was comprehensive packages, to make sure that all the potential actors and participants have a role to play, and their capacity and their talents are leveraged.
Okay. Maybe exactly what you say. Include all actors and leverage their capacities for the outcomes to build responsiveness.
Yeah.
Maybe we make it short like that. In this way, I just copy the other one down and we see whether it's completely in the other paragraph. So I just put that down here, and then we need to see how we shorten that because this paragraph is huge. Maybe you.
I think the inclusion was also to help localize, contextualize.
Okay.
Me too. Christina, can you do me one just like one favor? And can you
Yes.
just copy and paste what we have here? I just need to send it to the government now. Even if we're still working, then the governments can work at the same time, maybe, because I'm getting a bit
Okay.
freer now after 3, and I'm getting a bit pushed for sending something through. So if we can just have
Yes.
that page, then we continue editing while we're also getting feedback from the governments.
Yes.
that
I will
would be
send
great.
it to you by.
If you can
Give me-
just
give me
copy
just-
it, because I tried, but I cannot copy and paste now. It's somehow protected now, which is
This is
maybe also
weird.
good because, yeah. So if you
Okay.
can just copy in a Word document, just the way it is now,
Yes, I will do that right now.
thank you.
So,
And then
yeah.
we can discuss on
You want that in a document, right?
just a plain document, because, yeah, just that we can send it to the participants and that also the government of Ghana will read it. As
Yeah, I
endorsement
just want to
on
know
behalf of
who
Africa.
took out the finance here, because we do need to have the finance back in there.
We took it
Oh
out.
no, okay, we have finance up here now. Okay, I see that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, then that can come down. Yeah, that's
Yeah, okay. I will just send you that one as a document right now. So please go on going through the check
yeah,
whether
then
the
you
comprehensive.
continue. I just send it so that people are
Yeah,
seeing
please.
something. And it's nice to show change because also otherwise it's not as inclusive as we want to be.
Yes,
can get-
please, while I'm doing that,
Since I left. Yeah.
Stephen and Rebecca, can you please check whether the comprehensive package now is kind of like sufficiently inclusive of what you wanted to say.
Reviewing now.
Okay, thank you. And it's okay. Okay.
Yeah, because then they can jump in with their ideas while we're also continuing here.
Kirsten, do you need me?
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah,
Do you want me to stay?
can you or
I can. I'm missing
Yeah.
out on what's going on there, but
yeah, I know.
it's fine. But we'll all go back to the.
Yes, we will. It's just now the last
Okay.
paragraphs, I think.
I think the comprehensive packages, I think is fine as re-edited. I do think Marie puts a really interesting question in front of us in terms of kind of the tension between comprehensive packages and incremental, and do we get to transformation through incremental approaches and things like that. So maybe that's a separate conversation, longer conversation, but I think it's a really interesting, important point.
Okay, so now that you raised it, we expect from you to bring some solutions to this in our next meeting. I've sent you the email, Kirsten. So with this, maybe we can go on now. I can go back to share my screen, and then we can take back the text. So Kirsten, let me know whether you got the email. I think it should be on your side now. Okay, so now we go to finance. Establish and adequately resource flexible finance mechanisms to respond to the needs of the lowest income groups. Apply integrated fiscal transfers, enabling slum transformation to go to scale, leveraging multiple partnerships and investments, including from the private sector and communities. Leverage local finance to strengthen municipal fiscal health, including land-based finance mechanisms. I think there's two times, like this is a little bit saying the same, but okay. Establish flexible systems for finance, accommodating localization.
No, Christina, it's not saying the same, because one thing is to leverage funding from private sector and communities, and the other thing is municipalities. So maybe you can take out the leverage local finance and say strengthen municipal.
Yes.
Something like
yes,
that, right?
Good. Yes. Okay. Establish flexible system for finance accommodating localization and responsiveness with accountability for progressively achieving transformation benchmarks. That's for finance accommodating localization and responsiveness. Can we maybe, and that's the question.
Very complex, right?
Yes.
Sentence
yes.
I couldn't understand at all.
Can we maybe put this part, accommodating localization and responsiveness, to the first point, which is responding to the needs of the lowest income groups? Because basically that's what it's about. We look at what is important at the local level.
I agree, because flexible is already there, and well,
And
maybe
then
just the word accountability should be there at some
yeah,
point.
and then maybe
only word.
establish accountability.
Yeah.
Like this. Okay. And then here we just put in this. Okay. Mechanisms for, this is twice mechanisms. Let's make that systems, packages,
Or models. Yeah.
models. Good. All right. So next one, land. Do you want to read it out, Anna?
Sure. I don't know who put the bridge there, but I recognize the bridge and social function through guaranteeing secure tenure and land regularization, and increasing the supply of well-located land for housing through underutilized and vacant land and buildings. It recognizes the continuum of land rights and property rights and ensures safeguards in cases of voluntary relocation. Strengthen land governance systems and planning of land citywide. Mainstreaming, comma is missing maybe, mainstreaming informality and housing needs, maximizing the use of public land available. Design strategies for balanced densification to avoid non-planned and environmentally predatory urban expansion.
Okay, I was just wondering here with the ensure safeguards in case of voluntary relocation. What do you do with involuntary relocation?
You don't do. So
Oh, okay.
it's even
Do we want to
voluntary.
bring that in somewhere? I think that's important.
Evictions, right? Should we mention evictions?
I think we
Yeah.
should mention evictions.
So stopping
Recognize women.
evictions.
Okay, so maybe what?
Is there
Okay, I
rather
want to
than-
know. I also want to understand the bridge here. I'm not sure if I understand the bridge. So
Actually, to be honest, this voluntary doesn't exist, right? Because nobody, I mean, it's involuntary there too. I mean,
yeah,
what we want to is to not having evictions, but relocations are involuntary. It's usually somebody coming and saying you have
Yeah.
to relocate, right?
okay, maybe we can take out voluntary just in cases of relocation, and
Okay,
then
so
maybe
we
say
avoid-
which is to be minimized.
Yeah,
I mean, should we say something like negotiated relocation? I mean, is that,
In case of negotiated or agreed upon.
Which is to be negotiated and minimized, minimized and
Yes.
negotiated, minimized and negotiated. That way.
Okay.
avoiding
But what-
evictions maximum or something like that. Or preventing from evictions, something. No evictions.
I think
Just
it's
to be
in
minimized.
implied, isn't it?
Yeah.
With the
Just to
Anna,
be, yeah, I think with this one it is included, isn't it? Or do we want to state it explicitly?
I think it's never, harming to state it
Okay.
explicitly if it's not anywhere.
Avoiding
Forced
forced
evictions.
evictions. Okay, what about the bridge here? What is the
so
bridge
so
of-
does that mean land has a function to bridge, like a temporary function? Is that the point there? I don't know.
Maybe
if
it's
I'm
a
not
word
sure.
that was left there. I mean, what I
Okay.
put first was recognizing the social function. That's it.
Okay,
I mean-
if someone put in a bridge and has a good explanation for that, he or she can speak out. Okay, strengthen planning of land, citywide mainstreaming of informality and housing needs. Through citywide mainstreaming of informality and housing needs, maximizing the use of public land available. Science to avoid non-planned. Okay. To me, that looks good. So now we
Can I
come to
come
the
in?
pair. Yes.
One point. I'm just wondering, Anna, would it be better to put the word statutory planning? Because the planning can be anything, no? So strengthen land governance system, which is obviously a public thing, and statutory planning of land, because then all the legal thing comes, no? Yeah, that's much more clear.
And then this mainstreaming informality, I don't know if, but what
Maybe
would that
the
mean?
word is not right, Marie. Help me. The point is to bring, the informal settlements through the center of planning too. I mean, maybe it's not the right word.
Okay, through citywide.
So that
Planning.
prioritizing or incorporating,
By-
embedding informal territories and housing needs. I don't know.
So you want to integrate them into the citywide planning. Is that what you're saying?
Integrate, put a center,
Okay.
mainstreaming.
Okay, then we do
Yeah,
to
how
int.
isn't it through citywide recognition of informality and
Is that like, yeah, we have two concepts there. Is it about recognizing the informal functioning of cities in terms of incremental building, in terms of economy and formal economy, or is it about physically integrating informal settlements into the urban fabrics, I've called it. But so there's two different concepts. What do you want to say, Anna?
Anna, you are on mute.
Yeah, it's physical, but the way you put is nice, I believe, integrating informal settlements into the urban fabric. I think it's good.
Okay.
The housing needs is fine. We can take the housing needs because it's above, we say well-located land for housing, yeah, so it's fine.
I
But the-
still think, I still think it won't be accepted, this thing of integrating informality as such. So I think it should read through the citywide,
approaches.
where we now? Citywide recognition and integration of informal settlements, not informality, informal settlements and housing into the urban fabric.
Okay, hang on. So you say it's it's citywide recognition
And integration of informal settlements into the urban fabric. I think then we're not expecting politicians to accept informality as such, but to work with it, you know, to recognize it.
Okay.
Maximum.
Okay, and then maximizing the
Yes,
use of public land available.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay,
you can add to that plus and it's not only maximizing the use of public land, but also maximizing the tools they have to acquire private land, I would say.
and access. Okay,
Access use.
maximizing the availability, use, and access to public lands.
That's perfect, Marie.
Okay.
I-
That accepted?
I just don't think, I do think we need to have private land there as well, because very quickly they'll say, oh, but informal settlements on private land will therefore all be demolished, or there's ways of acquiring private land, you know, whether through expropriation, it's a big debate in South Africa, or through other mechanisms, but each country will have a mechanism of some sort.
My point here, Marie, is not related mostly to the informal settlements. Is mostly related, and maybe this is misunderstood, to make public land available to housing in general, not only informal
Yes.
settlements. But you are
Yes.
right on your point. That's why maybe at the beginning, when I say recognizing the social function, it's recognizing the social function of private land as well. Right? But I don't know if it's clear. This message comes across clearly.
Shall we say then there of public and private land? Yes, then it's very clear.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
And won't we put any point on the institutions here? Don't we need to write about something on the institution in the land section?
I think we need to write about the institutions in the multi-level participatory governance, isn't
Agreed.
that?
Yeah,
So
I think institutions is there, and policy, we speak about institutions as well. So
Okay.
you mean
Covered under
the laws and the legal frameworks, because we already mentioned that, right, in other sessions.
I mean, we could repeat it, but the question is how good is the repetition? It just becomes like.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
No. Okay, then we come to okay, community resilience and empowerment. Let's see what the content is about, and let's see how to get this paragraph on maybe half the length, so it fits to the other ones.
It is very repetitive. Maybe we can change at the beginning, the first sentence, Christina. I was looking at that, at it.
Okay, do it.
Yeah, it's like have one first descriptive sentence that includes a socio-economic empowerment, like community resilience and empowerment.
Okay, so basically strengthen local level governance ecosystem to ensure community participation and political and economical, socio-economic,
Social, yeah.
economical, socio-economic empowerment.
And what you can say, ensure community participation and political, this is governance, right? Too, I mean. Which we
Yeah,
already mentioned above. We already talked about multi-level governance. I don't know if we need to repeat here.
including democratic and effective participation of all groups. That's why we have and effective
Maybe
participation.
participation of communities and society. I don't know, but all groups is also fine.
All groups, especially communities and civil society.
Yeah.
Okay. So here then we have, this one is up there in the first phrase. Zack. Mainstream community participation in the formulation of transformative public policies. Let's see if that's in policies. Establishing to create institutions. This will require.
We should bring it up there. It's a good idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this one here.
After the high level monitoring, right? We can just copy and paste this one, I believe.
Good. Okay, socioeconomic empowerment. Integrate actions for socially and financially strengthen people's positions to contribute to the development. Okay,
It's
now we have
there.
Yeah. And so strengthen local level government to.
I think
strengthen.
it's already there. Socioeconomic empowerment.
So we have different, let me just read one time through this paragraph and then we identify what are the key ideas, and those are the key ideas that we bring in. So community resilience and empowerment. Strengthen local level governance ecosystem to ensure community participation and political and socio-economic empowerment. Socio-economic empowerment. Integrate actions for socially and financially strengthen people's positions to contribute to the development. Strengthen local level governance to strengthen institutions, to ensure their accountability towards the local community. Support interventions in identifying potentials of the community in data generation and solution finding in collaboration with the public agencies. Support and identify champions and key stakeholders from communities and nurture them through various public institution engagements. Strengthen knowledge on climate resilience upgrading, including tailored adaptation and mitigation measures and building climate resilient public infrastructure. I think this one is probably another, Capacity enhancement, produce and create new knowledge based on the local experiences on resilience and community behavior. Establish knowledge platforms to enable exchange between stakeholders to enhance capacities. Ensure equitable and empowered participation of the residents through direct involvement in the design of solutions, following a people-centered development approach, and public sector, private sector, and civil society capacity should be leveraged to the fullest extent possible. Okay, so this was the one which came from above. So what we have is topics here. I see 3 topics, and I'll just start subtitles to then include it. We have the socioeconomic empowerment, which is basically this sentence. Then we have the participation system, let's call it, or the governance, which could be basically this sentence.
Although we already have multi-level governance above in the first paragraph. This is multi-level includes local.
Yes, so I do think this one is actually like the governance system is the one we speak above. So in this phrase, maybe we should really just focus on resilience and empowerment. And then in terms of resilience and empowerment, we do have below a part on knowledge. And the part on knowledge, maybe we can bring it up here to then say we have So this one goes out because we have it above to ensure community participation.
Knowledge and capacity, we can put all together, right?
Yes, I do agree.
Capacity
let's-
is about much more than just knowledge. I mean,
Yes.
I'm worried about the title, and then
So
Yeah,
should
no,
we
we could-
put
that-
capacity with knowledge afterwards, Marie? Because capacity includes knowledge, right? But it's much more.
exactly.
So so just capacity. I mean, we can take out the title afterwards. It's just for us right now to structure this.
Capacity enhancement was good, no? We can keep the title.
Okay, and I just like it's down here, right?
Yeah. The point,
Okay.
Marie, is that what they talk about capacity here is mostly related to knowledge, support innovations. There's
And we have-
there's one element missing, which is strengthen the social capital. I mean, we need actions to strengthen community organization, to invest on that, right? Investments on community organization. This is the element missing, I believe, there.
So say this again. Which did you just say?
On capacity enhancement, everything that's there is around knowledge, right? Data, knowledge, support innovations, blah, 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 strengthen knowledge. Even knowledge is twice there. The last sentence, strengthen knowledge on climate resilient, upgrading, and blah, 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 right? This is kind of repetitive. I would just take it out.
Is it not also a bit, yeah, exactly, repetitive? I think because that also speaks to the other actions, because it sits now under community resilience and empowerment.
Yeah, and here we have knowledge on experience. So
Yeah.
maybe we can just take this one up here on resilience. Bum bum. Zack. Let's see if that makes sense. E. And then we take the other sentence out. On the local experience on resilience and community behavior, including tailored adaptation and mitigation measures, establishing platforms to enable exchange between stakeholders to enhance capacities, support innovations in identifying potentials of the community in data generation and solution finding in collaboration with the public agencies.
Maybe implement actions in support of community, in supporting and in strengthening community-based organizations in general.
In supporting
Or
community-based
strengthening community-based organizations.
So this is the one that if you go for the 5, the second part of the sentence.
in the
So you're
5.
writing section
Yeah,
5,
very good, Aparna. Perfect.
Okay, champions and key stakeholders from communities and nurture them through various public institution engagements.
No. Yeah, and also, yeah, and also, yeah.
So maybe
I
we
don't
can.
know. I don't know where this comes from with community champions. Is this champions and key stakeholders from communities? I find that so undemocratic in a way.
I agree with you, Marie.
I don't know where it comes from.
Which one?
This community champions in the community.
Yeah.
Key stakeholders, right?
Strengthen local level governance to strengthen institutions.
Okay, then maybe let's just say
But it's more
key
strong.
stakeholders and
Yeah.
nurture them. The public institution engagements, support and identify key stakeholders and nurture them through various public, maybe just through various engagements.
Yeah, and I like the last sentence of 6. Civil society capacity should be leveraged to the fullest extent possible. But
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, so this one is basically yeah, we have 3, for right now we have, let me just call that social strengthening We have 3 points here, and the question is, this one I think is going up to the governance with the accountability toward the local community.
Yes.
Okay. And then we have down here, we have
Read well
those-
though.
Sorry?
Strengthen local government to strengthen, that doesn't read well.
Oh, yeah. Strengthen institutions.
To ensure their accountability towards local. That sounds good. Yeah. Simple.
Okay.
Straightforward.
So down here now, we have 3 more. And the question is here we have a 4th one, which is the planning aspect. And the planning aspect, should it be here? We don't have a separate planning chapter.
Under community resilience and empowerment.
Well, this one is it's about empowered communities that are able to contribute to planning and implementation. But it's basically like if we had a chapter on planning, I would put it in planning. Maybe we can also put it in the implementation framework, or I'm not sure where to put it. But we don't have a separate planning chapter. We can put it up to multi-level participatory governance.
Yes, if multi-level and so across those silos, what would be the word for that?
Coordination. Which
So that's
is
up here?
policies.
Yeah, I think like the silo thing should be in policies, but I mean, this one here is about
Well, what I don't like on that is that here in multi-level, we are talking about, a broader picture. And in this planning, you are talking about a project, right? When you upgrade one community, this planning, direct involvement in the design solution. So we are not talking about citywide planning and so on. It might be confusing.
We have 2 things in here because up there in this sentence, we already have the planning in there. In planning and decision making to enable cultural, adequate and inclusive design of interventions. So we already do talk about that in this issue.
The overall planning, city overall projects, right?
Yeah.
And this last one is one project only. It sounds like.
Yeah.
I
think it's also more.
I think we have the
think
same
so.
here. To me,
But the
this
planning
sentence here
itself,
says,
the
sorry.
integrated, maybe strategic planning could be in there, but I think the planning in general means that. So, but maybe we could still say an integrated strategic planning and decision making. Then we don't speak to planning here. Huh? That's
So-
true, which is also a key element. But
Do we speak to reform at all? Have we
Exactly.
captured that?
Yeah.
The need for, and in some
think-
cases, planning reform, but
exactly. So maybe we need a separate planning point, and then
don't we need a point on reform, legal reform, including planning?
there is in the
That's
policy you
policies.
speak about. Yeah, but then we need to sharpen that a bit.
Legal and regulatory planning.
Okay,
yes.
maybe we can just go like through this first 2 here and separate what's governance and what's planning. And then we go to the reform part of the policies. So if I look through this first one here, we have participation of all groups, blah, 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 in integrated planning and decision making. And then the next phrase, this one here, like I think this one here
That's
is already
city
very
level.
much planning.
This is city level. So there's
Yes.
2 levels
So-
of planning.
So this one can go out, goes to governance, and then this one comes in here.
But first, I will say,
Yes.
because this is city level, right? And then we go down to.
Okay. So here we can say involvement in integrated planning and decision making to enable culturally adequate and inclusive designs of interventions and solutions. Following a people-centered development approach. And then the public sector, private sector, and this one is going up again because this is, we can put it in here. Okay, so I read it once more. multi-level participatory governance, institutionalizing multi-level participatory governance, integrated frameworks with multi-sector horizontal and vertical coordination among government spheres, including democratic and effective participation of all groups, especially maybe enabling, especially communities and civil society. Public sector, private sector, and civil society capacity should be leveraged to the full, ensuring that public sector, private sector, and civil society capacities are leveraged to the fullest extent possible. Strengthen institutions to ensure their accountability towards the local community. Planning. Ensure equitable and empowered participation of the residents through direct involvement in integrated planning and decision-making. To enable culturally adequate and inclusive design of interventions and solutions following a people-centered development approach. Is that like, do we need to have the for? Ensure equitable and empowered participation of the residents for direct involvement in integrated planning and decision-making. Okay. Policies. What was the reform part that you wanted to bring in there? If you're speaking, we cannot hear you. I think you're muted.
We've got it in there because we say design and review, enabling legal, regulating and planning.
Okay, good. So then back to
The other way
community-
around, review and design. I don't know.
Yes,
Yeah,
why not?
good.
Okay, so
Yeah.
community resilience and empowerment. So now we
The
have 3
packages
points.
were fine. The packages you looked at, they were fine, yeah? Or
Which packages?
Oh, we looked,
Ah,
we changed.
comprehensive packages, yeah.
Yes.
The incremental,
Yeah. That was Stephen was
Maybe
to bring us
progressive.
answers.
Yeah.
I don't think we will get necessarily support from everyone on incremental, just to
Oh,
warn.
could be incremental and progressive.
Yeah.
Why not? Okay. Yeah, Stephen was to bring us afterwards the combination of how to do comprehensive and incremental. But that keeps that is a task for Stephen to answer in the next meeting. So community resilience and empowerment. So now we have 3 points, and I think we've got them more or less separated. We have just one last sentence hanging around here, which we could implement in the first one. So if we say integrate actions for socially and financially for strengthening people's social and financial capacity to contribute to the development. Okay, here we have a sentence which is not yet ready. So this one here. Okay, maybe socioeconomic empowerment, strengthening people's positions, people's social and financial capacities to contribute to the development. Okay, let me see if you agree to that.
Better than positions, I think. Positions is a bit.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't, when there's so few resources available, our government's going to give resources to communities to strengthen them. Isn't it more about compensating communities for their costs of being involved more than?
Yes. Yeah. I think
I'm not so sure about that, because if I read this, I read this as if I say I have actions to ensure that people can participate, so they can politically and socioeconomic, they are politically and socioeconomically empowered through creating jobs. So now they have money, and then politically they get put into those integrated governance systems,
Yeah, it's always just a fraction of them that end up getting jobs and that end up getting empowered. I mean, it's not, I
Okay,
don't see it.
so what do you
If,
propose?
if the point is that we need, in
But
order
we
for
need
them
something.
to
Mm.
participate effectively, you know, I'm just thinking of Slovo Park, the one thing they need, and we've talked about it again and again, is they need a Wi-Fi hotspot, you know,
Yeah.
a free one in the community so they can engage in meetings like this or whatever it is. It's the kind of, but that is, to me, that's part of building their capacity. It's just that once we talk about empowering them economically, it's like paying community leaders to be, it gets very fraught.
Yeah, I think also the link to participation is not a good one. I would rather say that sustainable, transformative projects should also help with job creation and so on. But it's not necessarily linked to participation.
Yes,
I
exactly.
understand
That's
that.
what I mean.
I think that they're part of the integrated packaging and a response to reducing poverty, which is needed.
Yes.
And that's through location. I mean, it needs to be mainstreamed, the thinking around how to reduce poverty and designing interventions, transformative projects.
And that's not only to make them participate better.
No,
that's like
that's
that's a completely agenda on its own.
I agree. It's the
Yeah.
impact more of what we're doing. The impact needs to include socioeconomic transformation of people, not just spatial transformation. But here with the participation, I would also say it's a dangerous link because then participation can become very cumbersome and expensive, even more than it is.
Paid to come to meetings.
Exactly, these kind of things. No. So
it's just,
and why don't we use these wordings, Kerstin, that you just mentioned? You mentioned that beautifully. You just mentioned that.
So repeat that.
Yeah, that sustainable transformation, that the impact needs to be socioeconomic transformation and spatial transformation. So that's more the package. When we go up to the comprehensive package, we need to have, the issues, inequalities, poverty, and exclusion. So inclusion is the community empowerment here, is the multi-level governance frameworks. That's all the inclusion, the planning, how we do whatever. But then on the poverty, we need to have really also projects, packages that are giving jobs and are also considering access to job as part of the transformative planning. So that comes then also with the locations, and then all this thinking that the cost of mobility if you're outside somewhere, or that people, lose also socioeconomic safety nets by being temporarily or long-term moved. So I would think if we can put that into the comprehensive packages, that would be a better place. Yeah, economic opportunities almost too little ambitious, huh? Maybe considering in the design and planning of transformative project access to economic opportunities or economic why not jobs and livelihoods? Huh?
Yeah. I think we're on the same line.
Yeah,
Opportunities to improve their livelihoods.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
Then the word economic can come out there. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
It's cool in here.
Okay. Okay, then going back to I do think we did have something in the action plan. If you want to, I can look up what is in the action plan for this part, and you just go through those two and see whether they are now comprehensive. Do you want me to do that? Or do we want to take that out? Like, what
I
what
think
do we?
now we can take that out because it's already there.
Okay, so then community empowerment would be about the social strengthening.
Capacity and social strengthening.
Okay, yeah. So what about the political empowerment? We have it through the multi-level participatory governance. Okay. So then we would have two Produce and create new knowledge based on the local experience on resilience and community behavior. Maybe community,
Community behavior is a little bit strange.
based on the like community strategies
Dynamics.
could be dynamics, could be strategies, like solutions they have found.
Community approaches,
Approaches. Very good.
because those approaches often are not strategies, they're just coping. You know, often,
What about coping mechanisms?
you know, I think approaches is neutral. It would accept that perhaps some are able to strategize, others are just coping, but it's not preempting.
Good. So then, produce and create new knowledge based on the local experiences on resilience and community approaches, including tailored adaptation and mitigation measures, establishing platforms to enable exchange between stakeholders to enhance capacities, support innovations in identifying potentials of the community in data generation and solution finding in collaboration with public agencies, and then implement actions to strengthen community-based organization, support and identify key stakeholders and nurture them through various engagements.
Excuse me, we have to go for the next panel.
Yeah, I think
can you continue? If you can continue finalizing online, that would be fantastic. Then
just to understand, we have here the we need, and here are key actions. And is there something to finalize this statement?
I would maybe just we consider the order. But I think that's fine also at this time. Planning data, I would just consider having policies that, I mean, just the order of the items for now. I don't know.
Yeah, okay, we can do that. But I mean, like in the end, is there something to close? Like before
I would think it would be great to have one statement on, you know, the lobbying around this communique, since we're not yet at the final, but like a commitment around, yeah, exactly.
Can we do something like that?
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
okay.
To finish it off. Thank you.
Okay, then we can take that down there and then we can rework it.
Yeah.
Can I also leave?
Yes. Yeah.
I can leave.
Yes, you can also leave. And
okay.
We leave it
okay.
To
Bye,
the
everyone.
We need to go.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Yes.
And then we would send this to you.
But the rest of us are still going to keep plugging away. Yeah, Christina?
Yes, I would very much appreciate if you kept with me, so I wouldn't stay alone here.
You stay, right, Christina, because I already sent my video message to the panel. So.
Okay, great. So then I would just say, what about the others? Just to check in here, who's here and who needs to chat, who needs to leave, so we can give appropriate thanks to everyone who needs to leave.
I can stick around for another 15 minutes.
Yes. Okay, great. No, I think that's what we need to get done with this. So maybe we can just look through the last paragraph and then establish the order of tasks and then come to the closing statement. So implementation framework. Develop and provide operational capacity for multiple partnership frameworks and regional consultations to inform the way forward that are supported at different levels. Expanding and diversifying existing partnerships and consolidated and coordinated structures. Accelerating the implementation from the Global Action Plan. So I do think this one here is a mixture of what comes afterwards and what we have with capacity. If we have that, do we have capacity? We don't have capacity on overall level. We just have it on community level. Is that what's happening here?
That's what's happening here, yeah.
I think that's maybe an issue. Do we need capacity on overall level?
And also, we never fixed the planning thing, Christina, I'm realizing now.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay. Then what do we do with capacity? What do we do with planning? And what do we do with this one here?
If we put together capacity and implementation, because Implementation is, well, you say that develop and provide operational capacity, right?
So I mean, do we need to create a new section, new paragraph on capacity, or just weave it into the
Implementation.
other paragraphs?
Well,
I
I
think
think
the
right
thing
now
is
it's, yeah, right now it's woven into, but the point is, does that make sense to wave it into, or is it good to?
I think it's nice under implementation. So, but we are not considering, for instance, the traditional capacity building, the courses, the universities, and so on, right? So this is missing. The only thing we talk about implementation is consultations and, you know, the communities of practice and so on. So this is one aspect, the co-creation aspect, the exchanges of experiences in creating capacity. But then you have the traditional capacity building processes, right?
Okay.
And this is not there. But we could put all under implementation, I mean.
So we say capacity and implement. Well, the point of implementation, maybe I just read out the last paragraphs of this one here, because this is basically how to go the way forward. Because here I kind of have the way forward, different levels.
Okay, then it has nothing to do with capacity, yeah.
It's kind of like, I mean, yeah, but I think we should like this one here. I don't think we need it as this point here. We can just leave the capacity part and create a capacity sector, like capacity action.
Okay.
Because down here, and we can shorten that. This is basically an outlook on what we have thought might be interesting to state at that stage. So basically, we commit ourselves to taking the following actions, keeping in mind our national circumstances, specificities, and capabilities at all levels of government as appropriate, to initiate open and regular dialogue on all levels of governance, engaging with other ministries from national government, subnational administration, civil society and communities, private sector agents, academia, to review and specify the central action areas and identify key actions in all four dimensions of slum transformation, acknowledging that solutions need to effectively reflect the priorities of subnational governments and communities who are at the forefront of slum transformation. Engage with international partners during regional forums to exchange on identified action needs and to identify possibilities for collective actions. Integrate key actions into a global implementation framework to be endorsed during the UN Habitat Assembly 23, which will set out priorities for the years to come towards delivering the SDGs and the new urban agenda in slums and informal settlements. So this was basically like in the beginning, this was thought of, okay, we can maybe have this at this level, some kind of agreement on what governments will do now and what we will do, like this regular exchange to specify what needs to be done and to put it into this global implementation framework. So if we say we want this as a closing paragraph, then we don't need to have implementation framework here. And then I would say maybe we can call this capacities for implementation.
Christina, I think we can leave it the last as it is, but then add one specific on capacity, because I think capacity in itself, now thinking about that. So this is how the agreement for this global action plan will be implemented, right? How.
So,
and yeah.
No, and I was just going to, I mean, were you thinking capacities under number 4 or changing sub paragraph I above to capacities from implementation framework?
I would think,
yeah,
from my feeling, I would think it's an action point, because it's basically it's like it's not only for the implementation now, but it's like it's kind of covering all of those issues.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? Like, to me, it's like same. We can also put it down.
I think it's an extra thing because we can put multiple things there. So support continuing, you know, universities curricula. We can put capacity building at the local level, communities, local governments. There are multiple things that we can consider.
Okay. So then we need to find some things on which to put in here. And I do think we can maybe see, for example,
But keep the paragraph that was before. You erased that. This was good as last one. My suggestion was to keep it like it is. You can call it implementation framework, whatever, or leave it at the end. I'm just suggesting one extra item capacity.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we see what to do with this.
You can maybe take out the word capacity there. Operational foundation, operational
Operational,
support,
yes.
because this is more support than capacity, right?
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, good. And that one can then go down here somewhere. Or we can yeah,
I think it's very well summarized that. I mean,
Yeah, what I like about it is it's emphasizing partnerships and just kind of fostering, that
maybe
level of collaboration. So it feels like an action.
cooperation and partnership, Stephen, something like that.
Yeah.
Collaboration, co-creation.
yeah, collaboration and partnerships. Okay. Now we still have the issue on the capacities here. And for this, like maybe we scan through the other points to see whether there's some capacity to take it out, or do we just go, because basically I don't think I see capacity here somewhere.
Capacities of public sector, private sector, civil society. Yeah.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
But this is not building capacity, right?
Yeah,
this is
making
making
use of
sure
it.
that we are maximizing what they can offer, right? It's a different thing.
Yeah. Actually, we do it to ensure. Okay. Strengthen institutions to ensure their accountability towards the local community.
No.
Not really capacity building.
No.
Okay.
I think capacity builders, this is for governments, right? They are committing. So they should work with universities and academia to ensure that, the curricula is aligned.
Okay.
With academia, with the academic sector.
Actors?
Yeah, actors, to ensure that how you call that, Stephen, the curricula or and it's not only one course, right? I mean, it's several.
Yeah. So.
You are the university guy, Stephen.
Yeah. Don't know how that happened, but
ensure alignment of
let me just
curricula,
see what
maybe.
it's field of study, I mean, that's kind of clumsy.
I'm trying to find what we have on knowledge.
Somebody's here. Maybe one saying bridging the gap
between policy making and practicing.
No, but it's not there, right? It's not this one.
Well, this goes to implementation.
Let's
okay,
make it simple. Let's make it simple. It's nice the way you wrote. Let's just align of curriculum, right?
Yeah, I will just put in here and you tell me what you think. This is just for inspiration. This is what is written in the action plan right now, which was distributed to the participants, but I'm not sure if that's like what you wanted to say.
So I want to say that we need to strengthen the basic curricula of universities and academic, plus promote development courses for public, social, and private stakeholders. Promote development courses for public, yeah, exactly. That's it. Maybe we can keep it
So-
simple.
Yeah, so just to bring it there, using innovative approaches, like the way we have this case study approach, policy dialogue approach. So when you are teaching in the universities, you are usually teaching like a bookish, no? So how to capture the knowledge that you get it from practices, turn into the academic curriculum, and then use that for teaching. I think that needs to be emphasized, isn't it?
Very
What
good.
about that?
That's wonderful.
So
Capturing
case
the knowledge
study-
from and
From-
case studies. From
Sounds
like
perfect.
this? Okay. So then we take that out. We do have the kind of exchange for, we did have somewhere, yeah, here, platforms to enable exchange between stakeholders to enhance capacities.
And do you want to use here the word horizontal exchanges?
I do
Like,
think it's
where-
good,
Where you
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
talking,
Definitely. but the question is this one then, stays this up here? Or does that go down? Well, no, because it's on.
No, because this is knowledge, right? And the other thing is like really be committed to support,
Capacity building.
continuous, building capacity.
Okay.
I think this is fine. The way it is fine. If the message is done, right? In the collaboration partnerships, we have the exchange. We have the word exchanges too in collaboration partnerships. That would be interesting to have. Developer renders support for multiple partner, regional, found the way forward, expanding the idea, consolidate, accelerate implementation. Maybe add promoting exchanges.
Yeah. Okay, so for multiple partner region to inform the way forward. So I'm just looking up here because here we have. No. Okay, we don't have the monitoring here. So then we go down here. So, okay.
Well, this is the global monitoring, right? So, because we have the monitoring at the local level, or at the country level, local level, where we speak about communities, the policies, but the collaboration and partnerships. I mean, accelerating and monitoring the implementation of, because we have the global monitoring towards SDG 11, right? Which is different than the local policy monitoring.
Better supported. Well, we say basically here, we say we have all levels. So then the question would be, does that, I will just copy it up here so we can compare whether this one here is not doubled with the other one.
No, it's not, because the multi-level participatory governance is country-based.
Yeah, okay. And then we have collaboration and partnerships.
And this is a combination of local, regional, national, global,
right, and all kinds,
right?
and private, public, civil society, all kinds of different actors too. So
Okay, so
I think A and B complement each other. They're
yeah, maybe we can do collaboration for implementation, because then it becomes more clear what is like.
sure.
Yeah, and that way now the question is, if we look at that and we take it down there again, then the question is, do we need that other blah 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 which we have here?
No,
Okay, and then maybe we
I
can
would
just
say.
okay, but then what I would
I mean, there's some specific things like C has something specific reference to the UN Habitat Assembly in June. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe that stays, but the rest of it I think is.
Yeah, I do think what I would like to see whether we have some kind of, because what I wanted to say with this one is basically, so we are proposing this one here, but we know that this is not yet, specific at all. So we would encourage for discussions or dialogue on all levels within the possible of the national governments. So basically, if you look like, I think this one, if we can bring that maybe into it somewhere to say, okay, so taking no, this one not, but maybe like develop, diversifying partnerships, promoting exchanges, and maybe then as a last phrase to specify, we have here this one, to review and specify those actions and acknowledging that the solutions need to reflect the priorities of the lowest level. We commit ourselves to initiate those dialogues. And then we come up with key actions to be integrated into this global framework.
So why don't you then have two bullets, Christina? One would be this one, and then the second, like under collaboration and implementation, having two bullets. So one main bullet related to initiating an open and regular dialogue, and the second one about supporting multiple partnership frameworks, because these are two different things, right? One thing is that UN Habitat, well, this is UN Habitat, right? Because the commitments are for governments.
Yeah. This one
So
is
there's
basically
a little bit of confusion here.
Yeah, there is quite some confusion here, and I think it's good if we clarify that. Basically, when we look, so this is like we commit, that's what we do. And then like this is what government does. And I do think this one here is what follows now.
So just for the clarity, so when you say that, the monitoring thing, will it be again a standalone or will it be a part of what the government is doing? See, if I think from the national government's point of view, they are having an elaborate mechanism for doing monitoring of the SDGs. Now, will this also be another setup or will it be part of something that they are already doing? This is something that I'm not getting the monitoring part.
That's a good question. I do think that it should be integrated into the monitoring of the SDGs. Yeah, that's a good question. What do the others think about that?
To repeat?
So the question is this one here what we're developing here in terms of monitoring? When we say the government will monitor, the government monitors the SDGs, the SDG implementation, and do we somehow link that with this global action plan, or is that something different?
But UN, isn't it UN Habitat's mandate to monitor SDG 11 globally?
Yeah.
Right. So the two levels of monitoring. One is at the national level, the government monitoring the SDGs, and then the second is the global. And the governments, they need, in theory, they should do that with other stakeholders as well. And I think what we are opening up here is through this implementation framework or the collaboration and partnerships to enable a broader, a broader participation in this monitoring process, because traditionally it would be like UN and the national governments. Right now, what we are suggesting is that at country level, there's multi-level participatory governance for monitoring what's going on in the country in relation to SDG 11. But we also have a sphere of collaboration globally that can support the overall monitoring of SDG 11.
Yeah, what I am also trying to thinking aloud. See, for example, if I take India, in India, there is a SDG monitoring happening, but it is happening very top down. But then when you are implementing housing schemes or housing policies or, projects, there the monitoring happens, which is much more robust. So what I'm just wondering that when we write it that, you do a monitoring for this implementation of global action plan, shall we suggest that you make it as a part of your ongoing housing project implementation framework or SDGs or something, so we give them the option. So instead of saying that, you make another system, we can suggest to them, you identify your systems through which you can also monitor this. So I'm just wondering whether that would be easy for the national governments to do it.
So this would be multi-level, no?
Yeah,
Because Christina, what you are writing now, this is
Yes.
data, this is what they are doing. And I think what Aparna is suggesting is that we bring to the we embed monitoring SDG 11 into multi-level participatory governance. Is that correct, Aparna?
So I'm just saying that I'm right now wearing the hat of the national government. So if you tell me that, you monitor another implementation of, say, global action plan for institutional upgrading, at least in India, I can tell you that there is no appetite, but
No,
they
here
are.
too. Yeah.
So they are monitoring their housing scheme implementation very closely, very robust manner. So if this particular thing can be then, embedded there, so while you calculate your housing implementation, you can also monitor this or SDG, so you give them options. What do you think? Will that not be a more practical solution for them? Because another indicator, another monitoring tool for them, I don't see there would be any takers on that.
You say basically now for monitoring the implementation of this here, of this global actions that we are proposing.
No, the SDGs. I think this is SDG. Because you have the statistics, usually in the countries you have a commission for SDGs that's not essentially located in housing or in the ministries of urban and housing that are committing here, right? You have a commission, they have a representative there, and you have a full stream of monitoring the SDG locally that in some countries is more top down, I think, right? Like Aparna is saying. And this is different than the monitoring the policies. It goes out of that.
Okay, so then you would put it to the governance level, saying because it needs to be like you need to see where you can put it into.
Strengthen institutions to ensure their accountability towards the local community and the SDGs point. And it's solved, I would say, because it's under multi-level participatory governance.
Okay, yeah.
Like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they
Yeah,
have to
makes
be
sense.
accountable to both sides, global and local.
Okay, maybe then, but then maybe
Or we say SDG 11 to be more specific.
strengthen to ensure the accountability towards the, and the implementation of the SDG, and then strengthen institutions and identify systems. That way we have the point in that Aparna raised, like where to put it into. No, you're muted, Ana Claudia.
Sorry, I was trying to read here the messages. I think this is solved, right, Aparna? If we just add the SDG 11 there, we don't have to identify systems.
Yeah, I think that's fine. That's fine.
I mean, this is implicit that we have to identify systems, but we don't have to repeat.
Okay.
The
Good.
planning worries me though, because
Yes,
we never
yes.
incorporated.
Yes, so for the planning, my question is this part here in land, is this part of planning or is that this part of land?
This is planning.
Increase the font.
This would be planning, right? Oh, yes, of
This
course.
would
I
be
can-
planning. Very good. That's excellent point, Christina. We can just
Yeah.
copy and paste. Wonderful.
So then the planning, and we do have some more. Okay, maybe this is the first
So
one
when you
because
say-
that's
When you say planning, Anna, do you mean spatial planning or you mean planning? Like this is another confusion that I had. When you say planning, what do you mean? Okay, spatial planning? Okay,
Spatial planning.
okay.
okay. So statutory planning, right? That's basically
Yeah,
what-
and then I have two levels of planning. One is the city level and the other one is the communities when you transform them.
yes.
Two different levels that needs to be complemented.
Okay, so basically here we already have the city level in there. And then this is also city level. And here we have the neighborhood level. So we should bring that in there. For integrated neighborhoods planning at neighborhood level. Is that what we want to say? Or do they, I mean, they also should be involved in citywide planning, right?
They should be too, yeah.
Okay, well then, Maxima.
And then we need governance for planning too, but we already mentioned governance above, so it shouldn't be a problem, yeah.
So this one can go out. Do we need that?
Strengthen land governance
think so.
systems. No, we should keep that because this is
Okay.
governance system of land.
And this shouldn't go back to land then? I mean, it's like land cadastre, right? So it's part of planning basically.
It's also
Part of
about
planning.
institutions, no? It's also about institutions.
Yeah, I think we can keep it there, like planning with the land that we have.
So can we maybe just, instead of calling that land governance system, can we call that either land administration or land management?
I put management earlier and somebody replaced for governance, so.
Yeah, let's put it back. Okay. So do we now have, like, this planning now looks quite okay, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Then land community capacities. Okay, then we're still at the last point where we haven't found a solution yet, how to finalize this. Because if we say that all this is government action, then this one here, I'm not sure if that's government action.
I don't know if it's government action. So who is signing this resolution? This is a key question.
I think
I think we can rationalize this as government action. Can you scroll back down, please? I mean, I think what we're asking governments to do is to develop operational support for partnership frameworks, of which they're a part. But you know, they need to kind of proactively help facilitate effective partnerships to get the job done. So I think we can make a case that this is that collaboration and support for collaboration is a responsibility of governments.
Okay, and this is a different point. This one here is a different point if we say it's government than the first one, right? Because this is governance. This is basically day-to-day dealing with what needs to be done.
Agreed.
Okay,
yeah.
So we say that's different. If we say that's different now, then my question is, do we integrate in here the dialogue that now needs to start? Inform the way forward. Develop operational support for multiple partnership frameworks and regional consultations to inform the way forward. Okay.
But is this something that you are expecting the national government to do it, the collaboration for implementation? Or is it something that the UN would,
right?
the UN would facilitate? Because the national government can work in their own jurisdiction, but that's the problem that they have, no? They cannot reach out to their regions and collaborate there.
They can,
No,
and there are
but then-
mechanisms that they can do that. And they, for instance, South Africa is doing that now. So South Africa is committed to collaboration. Others can be too. I mean, take the time, participate in these discussions and these dialogues requires commitment, right?
But UN is facilitating, no? So there is
No, it doesn't have to be. I mean.
No,
I
in
mean,
this case, actually, like, I mean, we were called by them, but who's financing is them.
Yeah, for instance, you have in Latin America the MINURVI group. UN doesn't have to facilitate. They talk to each other autonomously. You had previously, you had the IPSA. UN was not part of that. I mean, UN can be or cannot be. The point here that I'm making is that governments commit to be there as a stakeholder and open up and listen and collaborate, right?
Okay, so.
But the UN can also commit to do that.
Right. It's not mutually exclusive. Right.
Okay,
Okay.
no, and I do think like the idea is that this is like one of the tasks that UN Habitat does want to support. So the question is whether develop operational support is correct here. Maybe it's like when we say here commits to integrate into multiple partnership frameworks, commit to co-establish multiple partnership frameworks.
Wonderful. Commit to co-establish is very good. I like it.
So, because basically that's what they are supposed to do. They're supposed to come in and be there and support, that are supported at different levels, and to inform the way forward. Multiple partnership frameworks. Okay, what about commit to co-establish multiple partnership frameworks at different levels and participate in regional consultations to inform the way forward.
Mm-hmm.
Expanding and diversifying existing partnerships in consolidated and coordinated structures and promoting exchanges, accelerating and monitoring the implementation of the Global Action Plan.
Sounds good.
I mean, here there comes in the question with the SDG. Maybe we can just put in and the SDG.
Yeah.
But then
the SDG 11, yeah.
Then it's like repetitive to the other one up here.
It doesn't matter because the other one is country level and this one is a global monitoring.
Okay. So let's put that globally.
Exactly.
And then the question is from here, we have the can we bring in the dialogue in there somewhere? Or maybe we do, because like what to me is important, and maybe I'm just like, maybe I'm the only one that thinks that's important, and then I'm willing to let go. But so we can make some recommendations for things that need to be done. But I think those recommendations, they need to be like brought to the lowest level to see whether they apply. And if they don't apply, they don't need to be formulated at the country. Like, let's say, for example, whatever, just hypothetical land. Let's say we have a country that's extremely organized in their land question. And they basically don't need to act in this. And then it's kind of like, okay, do they need to, like, I think like they need to look at each of those issues now and say, okay, in our country, what that means is that we need to do this and this and this. And in order to say that, I think they should say that like this should be informed by the very lowest level. But I might be wrong, right? So
I don't know if I understood your point, Christine.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Basically, what I want to say is like I think this phrase here, because the rest is kind of like,
yeah, the B is solved, I believe.
The B
right?
is solved. The B is definitely
We
solved.
can, yeah.
Yeah. And I think yeah. So the question is, do we need to say here that they do need to have some kind of dialogue on all levels? Or is that already kind of included in the first one? Or do we need to include that in the first point?
We can mention dialogue, right? We can add this element of dialogue in this collaboration for implementation.
Okay, but if we look at this point here, this is actually like when you look at that, that's basically nationally and below. So then it would be something which would go to the first point.
We can copy and paste in the first point because this is dialogue. This talks about no, not the first point. Sorry. Yeah, item J, but as a first point of item J, because there we say they have to establish dialogue, right? Also talk with other sectors. And then we say commit to co-establish multiple partnership frameworks. So there's dialogue, there's the element of dialogue, there's the element of partnerships that frame collaboration, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so my next question is, do we need to mention here the integration of those actions then into this global implementation framework that is to be launched in June, or do we say this is not needed at this point?
I think it's important to mention because this is one thing that we expect that, right, especially from governments, because they are the key
Okay.
stakeholders to go there. That they
And
go
it's-
there and say, look, slums are important. We need you guys to prioritize this one.
What about this one here? Through accelerating and monitoring the implementation of the global action plan globally through a global implementation framework to be endorsed during the UN
Wonderful.
Habitat Assembly and UN.
Perfect.
Okay.
The only thing that we didn't mention anywhere, and maybe should we mention at there somewhere in the middle, the wolves?
Ah, that should be in here somewhere.
Yeah. Review committee.
Okay. And the SDG globally through to be endorsed and regularly reviewed.
Revisited, yeah, reviewed.
Yeah, revisited during the biannual World Urban Forums.
Yeah, sounds good.
Or during international, like regular international conferences.
Such as the World Urban Forum, and we kind
Yeah.
of highlight.
Yeah, I think that's better because I mean there might be other events that might be more appropriate.
Yeah,
During-
the Habitat has the housing forums and everything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
PLG has their thing, yeah.
Yeah, and I think like maybe by leaving it open, it would also be we can then see whether we can maybe also one time do it during the WWF, one time during the Habitat Forum, and that way also kind of integrate those different forums.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do think we did a long, beautiful communique. And I think, yes, all right, we did that, Roberto, thank you. And this way, I would say we are good to send that back to Kerstin and say that's what we got. What do you got?
I agree. It's not so long. I mean, it's quite simple, but also complex, right? I think it integrates the complexities of the issues that we are discussing. I'm so
Yeah,
dark here.
It's a little bit, I mean, let's see what
What the governments do with that.
yeah, I think we did our part and we need to finish the communique now, says Kerstin. Okay, so I tell her we
We are
finished.
Wonderful, perfect timing.
Yes,
So
yes.
see you around. I'll move
Well-
to the panel then.
Thank you very much for your collaboration, everyone, and wonderful as always, and looking forward to seeing you
Nice to
soon,
see you,
hopefully.
Stephen.
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't have my camera.
Bye-bye, Christina. Wonderful work. You were a great
Yes,
facilitator.
well done. Okay, we'll keep plugging away.
You are wonderful partners to collaborate with, so thank you very much.
Bye-bye,
Thank you guys. Good to be with you
everyone.
all. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank
bye.
you. Bye bye.